Hey, thanks for making it to Veterans Info Tap. I am glad you made it. Let's talk about protected ratings within the VA, just kind of all mushed together, just kind of a nice overview. I've done some deeper dives into different protections, whether it was protecting you against the rating schedule changes or certain aspects of your current rating schedule conditions that you're rated for, and what sort of protections are there for you, anything from being 55 years or older, through the 10 years, through 20 year, all of that stuff. And just kind of wanted to merge a lot of that together and go through it with you and give you my 2 cents along the way on some of these different protections. I believe that it's important for us to understand what sort of protections we have with regard to our VA disability compensation and what you can do to make sure that you are protected. So before we jump into it, I want to throw on a special thank you to Teresa Humway 2856. Teresa, thank you so much for the super comment, super chat. I really do appreciate your support very much. Thank you, Teresa Humway. All right, so jumping into it here, protected ratings, which is something that we should all be aware of, right? In some extent, anyway, at least understand that there's some out there. And if you feel as though you are being unfairly treated or unfairly reduced, targeted, whatever, you know that you should be looking at what sort of protections are there for you with regard to whatever's happening. And if you need some assistance, maybe you're a congressional member, maybe reach out to the IG, that type of stuff. The VA does not always get it right. And it's up to us to be knowledgeable so we know when they're not right, so we can combat it, right? So with that, hit the thumbs up for me, subscribe, share with a friend, all that good stuff. I truly appreciate it. Every thumbs up, every minute watched really does help the channel. I appreciate every single one of you so very much. So let's go ahead and jump into it. A protected VA disability rating refers to VA benefits that cannot be reduced or terminated unless the VA proves fraud or a significant sustained improvement in the veteran's condition. Okay, so this is important because when you file your initial claim for any condition, okay, the VA is essentially looking at 3 things, really. There's 3 things that the VA is looking for in your claim. 1, is it service connectable? That one seems obvious, right? You're trying to get it service connected. So they're trying to determine, is it service connectable or not? We're going to say yes. Yes, it is. The second thing that they're looking for is, well, what rating should it be? In most rating schedules for specific conditions are going to have multiple different ratings that could be assigned based on different criteria. So what is your criteria and where does it take you on the rating schedule, and what rating should be assigned to you for that service-connected condition? Okay, important. The third thing that the VA, and a lot of people leave this out, and that's why it's important to understand, because that way you get it right the first time and you don't have to deal with all the garbage later, right? If you know what you're doing, you can hit your claim out of the park and not have any worries. The third thing is the VA is looking, going, well, is this a condition that could potentially get better within the next 5 years? And if so, then did the veteran prove that they've had this condition for at least 5 years and that it has not gotten any better? Now, what happens is that if you can prove to the VA in your claim submission that you have had a condition for more than 5 years and that it has been stagnant, it has been static, it has not gotten any better, and has been the same ever since, and quite frankly, if it were me filing a claim today for that condition, you could bet your bottom dollar I would be having a conversation with my doctor saying, hey, look, I need a letter from you that basically states that my condition is static in nature, that I've been being treated by you for this condition for, 7 years, and you have seen no material improvement in this, and that it is absolutely deemed static. Why? Because I want to prove to the VA that my condition is static and that it's been in existence for more than 5 years. I want to prove to the VA the severity of my condition as it relates to the rating schedule, so they can approve my rating at the appropriate level. And I also want to provide them proof that my condition is service connectable. Now, most people don't do that. Most people just, here's a bunch of information regarding my condition, my time in service. I don't know. Hopefully you can figure it out. Wrong approach. This isn't a game. As much as some people out there want to make it sound as though it's a game, it's not. It's a legal process. Your claim gets fully adjudicated. Don't rely solely on AI. Don't rely solely on the C&P exam getting it right. Don't rely on the VA getting it right. You make sure that you provide everything that you need so that way you get approved appropriately out the gate. And if you're not, at least you know you can fight it with an HLR fairly easily. All right, that's my soapbox. Let's move into this. Protected ratings, because 5 years is your first threshold. According to the 5-year rule, the VA now has a higher bar to get over if they try to reduce you. They need to now prove a significant sustained improvement in your condition. Now, we also have the 10-year, the 20-year, and in certain permanent and total disability cases, the 5-year rule also protects, and also some of that permanent and total stuff as well. Now, the 5-year rule, again, protects ratings that are static for at least 5 years. So remember, if you can prove that up front, it's not saying 5 years after you get your service connection. It's saying that 5 years that you've had that condition. The 10-year rule protects continuous ratings for a decade, and the 20-year rule protects ratings that have been continuous for 2 decades, with reduction only possible in cases of proven fraud. Now, the 10-year rule protects your service connection. You can still get reduced, okay? It's harder to reduce because the 5-year rule has already passed, and they need to have significant sustained improvement documented in order to reduce you at the 10-year, and your service connection cannot be severed unless of fraud. Now, let's fast forward to the 20-year rule. The way the 20-year rule works is if you've been rated at the same percentage for 20 years for a given condition, the VA cannot sever the condition or the rating unless of fraud. The 20-year rule is so strong that if the VA screwed up and gave you a rating for something that they shouldn't have rated you for, they just messed up, right? Maybe it was supposed to be your right leg, but they gave you your right and your left, and somehow they fat fingered it, and now you got 2 ratings instead of 1. You got one for each side when it was just supposed to be 1. And you never took the time to really figure it out. You just went, yay, I got a whatever rating, I'm good to go, and you just moved on and never looked back. 20 years down the road, 21 years, we'll just say. 21 years down the road, the VA realizes, oh, oops, we were never supposed to give you the rating on your left side. It was just supposed to be your right side. Doesn't matter. They're not going to sever it. They will not sever it, even if it was a complete error on their side. Now, the only way that they would sever that is if it was fraud. All right, so now moving on. Let's talk a little bit on the continuation here of what I was reading. So the 10-year rule protects the continuous rating. The 20-year rule, again, blah, 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 with a reduction only possible in cases of proven fraud. Veterans with a permanent and total rating cannot have their benefits reduced without evidence of significant improvement. All right, so it gives us the definitions here. I'm going to read them to you just for giggles to see how they word it. I already said it. Let's see how they say it. The 10-year rule, a service-connected condition that has been rated at the same level for 10 continuous years is protected. The VA can still reduce the rating, but not terminate the service connection unless there is evidence of fraud. Okay, so it kind of went off the rails at the beginning, and then they brought it back. Kind of weird. So the 10-year rule, it says a service-connected condition that has been rated at the same level for 10 continuous years is protected. But they can still reduce you. So it's not really protected if it's been rated at the same. The service connection is if you've been rated for a condition, that condition is protected, but not the rating at 10 years. The 20-year rule, though, that protects your rating that's been in place for 20 years. Let's see how they say it. Once a rating has been continuous for 20 years, the VA cannot reduce it at all unless the veteran was granted the rating through fraud. Permanent and total status, P&T status, a veteran with a permanent and total disability has a condition that is unlikely to improve over time. You must have static conditions in order to be permanent and total. Your static conditions have to add up to 100% on the scheduler rating, and then that's how they determine you to be permanent. Next bullet here, the VA cannot reduce P&T disability rating without evidence of significant improvement in the veteran's conditions, which is rare. So highly, highly unlikely. All right, so that concludes it. Thanks for watching. I appreciate you very much. Have a great one. And remember, if we don't take care of each other, something went wrong.